Now I just want to talk about the traditional grip. That's the other main way of holding the sticks, and what you're basically doing is putting the stick in this very important area, right in the web, right here, and a way to know, the distance. You don't want it to be too far down in the middle. You don't want it to be way. If you make a fist on the end of your stick with your right hand, and then place your left hand right underneath it. That's a good distance from the handle of the stick to use as a reference. You'll notice that I'm putting tension on my thumb here. This is something that Joe Porcaro taught me, and it's great because it locks in the stick. You lock it in the web, okay? So also, just to let everybody know, I got a finger that's pretty screwed up here, and it won't straighten out. So when I start talking about things about using that finger, and I can't do exactly what I want to do with it, that's the reason. So it's a long story. I don't want to get into that, of course. But but the thing is, you have the tension on the thumb, and it's like hitchhiking or something, which you don't want to do either. But basically, it's like that kind of position, and it'll stay there after a while. I mean, it's not like it just never moves. Sure, there's going to be movement when you get into all this, but basically, this locks it in, and it's a really good way to hold it there and to maintain it without wobbling around. Then what you do is put your index finger directly across the top of the stick, okay? And you could also have your large middle over the stick too. A lot of times we keep that lying across the top of the stick, and sometimes we play with it off the stick like that. It depends on things. It depends on, a lot of times it's speed. A lot of times when I start playing faster, this does come off, but it depends. But let's leave it lying across the stick, as a foundational thing to understand. But it does move off as well, okay? Now, as far as the fourth and my pinky, this is the problem with my pinky, but I can't bend it the way I want it. But what you're trying to do is have the stick behind the nail of the fourth finger, not way down in here. Have it behind the nail of the fourth finger. It'll stay there after a while. The pinky should be directly underneath it. A little bit, I can't get it to go out any more than that, but like that, okay? And that's how it looks. And my wrist is straight, okay? It's like an extension of the forearm. You don't want to cock your left hand out. Right now we don't want to cock it in, but you end up cocking it out, cocking it in for certain things. But let's say straight wrist right now, okay? So you look like have that nice straight alignment. From there, you bring your palm up, and if you can place your right stick flat on your left palm, you're in the position for a full stroke. This would be called a full stroke, okay? All right, so from there, you're doing the same thing with the right hand. There's no change there whatsoever, okay? And this is how it looks. So now I'll play the same exercise with the traditional grip, okay? And I'm coming, down to here to make this stroke. And then from there, and there's the straight wrist. And then from there, I'm coming back all the way. So I'm turning all of this. It's really all about the movement in that wrist. You're putting all that activity, emphasis on wrist action, okay? So here's the same exercise with the traditional grip. 1, 2, always counting out loud, very imperative to timekeeping and so forth. So get in the habit of counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Go right back to the beginning and do it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I wouldn't go any faster than that because remember, you're starting off. This is the first thing that you're doing. So speed don't mean anything. It's accuracy. Accuracy of holding the sticks right. Accuracy of counting out loud. Accuracy of placing the foot where you want to place it. And that's how you begin to do the exercise. If you want to do the second one in the Buddy Rich book is in 3. So you're doing exactly the same thing, but you're just counting up to 3. So it's another common time signature. So you go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Then go back to the beginning. 1, 2, 3. Examine your hands. Look at your hands. It's easy. You're going to memorize the exercise in 2 minutes. And stare at your hands. 2, 3. You know, look at your hands. Examine your grip. And that's important. You know what I mean? That way, if you see anything go off, the stick gravitates to the second. Common thing that happens is the stick gravitates to the second joint. Okay, there is a legitimate thing about doing that where it's a drum corps thing. But the drum set players will place the stick on the lower joint. So try not to let it gravitate to the second joint. But when you feel it go up there, new students, you can't avoid it, put it back down. And after a while, they will stay put. And it's not through squeezing that it's going to stay there. It's just through repetition and fixing. And you got little muscles, I assume, in here that have to strengthen. And that'll hold the stick there. But it's not through squeezing that's going to make it stay there. So be careful not to squeeze hard. It's never what you want to do. It causes problems. But you're basically holding the stick firmly. Okay? So looking at your hands is very important, whether you're holding it in the traditional manner or you're holding it in the match grip technique. Either way, you look at your hands, and that way if you see anything go off, people pinch their thumbs. You don't want to pinch your thumb. You want to keep the whole pad of the thumb against the stick like that in a comfortable way.